everybody, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another video. Today we have my winter morning routine, an updated one. This is actually my first ever winter morning routine in the cottage, where I'm having Christmas in the cottage. Before, it was a little bit of a renovation disaster, you could say that. If you've seen my cottage renovation series, you will know a lot of hard work and effort has gone into the cottage, so basically it didn't fall down. But here we are. The house is decorated, everything's coming together, so very different compared to last year. So the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is make my bed, do my skincare. I always feel a bit groggy when I first wake up. That's why I like to drink some water as well. But also I feel like when you've just washed your face, the world just seems better. You feel more clear. I feel more awake as well. Of course, I put some SPF on as well, even if it is the winter, because I am a very pale gal. Gotta protect myself from the UV rays, even in the winter, because I spend a lot of time outside. Also, please excuse the state of my makeup drawer. This time of year, for me in the winter, I am so busy with work and creating content for you all. I've also been doing a little bit of Vlogmas, so if you haven't done so already, after this video be sure to catch up on all the content I filmed, because there's been a lot going out. But anyway, I do need to clear out my makeup drawer. That is a job for the new year. After that, it's then time to get dressed and go downstairs, and of course when I turn my lights on, I had to turn my Christmas lights on as well to get into the festive spirit. Also in the mornings, I feel like my morning routine's changed a little bit. Sometimes I would have breakfast before I get ready, sometimes I like to get ready. It really depends on the day and how hungry I am when I first wake up. Recently, my favourite breakfast at the moment, which also changes, I feel like I have one breakfast for about a month. That is like my go-to breakfast, and then it changes. At the moment, it's a fried egg on toast. I often also have some fruit with it as well. Some days, depending on the day, I flip it over. Don't know if that's a little bit weird, but of course have to add some salt and pepper. I've also been really loving having a cup of tea in the morning. I feel like that's very British of me. If you want to know how I have my tea, for whatever reason, I normally have it with milk and 1 sugar. So there we go. After my breakfast, it's then time to put my coat on and then drive in very quick, literally less than 5 minutes down the road to the horses and arrive at the farm. So here they all are. Every morning I have to say good morning to them and give them lots of kisses and cuddles. In the morning, I normally give Joey cuddles first, just because his stable is opposite the gate and the nearest, and then I kind of go down along the line. So he's normally very cuddly in the morning, but also sniffing for treats, looking for food. Mickey's very cuddly. He's probably one of my most cuddly horses. I'd say he's more licky actually than cuddly, to be fair. Like, he was licking all over my jacket, all over my hands. He is very, very sweet. He's my old boy. And then Casper here, he takes a little while to defrost in the morning, which, to be fair, same. So he's not as cuddly. And then little Duke, the rescue pony, he loves kisses, cuddles, everything. He's probably the most affectionate. I think when he was hand-reared as a foal, he had lots of kisses and cuddles and attention, so I feel like he demands them every morning. Then it's time to go into the feed room, which I always think is adorable, because Joey's little nose always pokes out around the corner. He's always like, Mum, where's my breakfast? Anyway, then it's time to grab all of the horses, their buckets, and grab their food. If you want to know what they're fed, Mickey, Casper, and Duke all get Bailey's Low-Cal Balancer with some light chaff, of course, in different quantities depending on how big they are, how old they are, how much work they're in. And then Joey is on Performance Balancer with light chaff as well, all from Bailey's. And their meals are actually pretty simple, because the balancer contains all of the vitamins and proteins that they need. So there we go. Then it's time to give them their food.
Oh, Mickey! Hello! You can get back. You get back. Good boy. There we go. Well done.
As you can see, Mickey gets so excited when it comes to breakfast time. He literally starts leaping in the air, neighing. He also does this thing which he's always done, where he shakes his leg when he eats his breakfast, just because it's the most exciting. It's the best meal of the day, guys. Anyway, once all of the horses have their food, I also give them their buckets in the order of the pecking order. So it goes Joey, Casper, Mickey, and then Duke. So here they are. Next, it's time to get the donkeys' feed ready. So I just grab all of their buckets, put their balancer in, Because Bruno doesn't have many teeth left, I put quite a bit of water in his food to kind of make a Bruno breakfast Bailey's soup. So there we go. Then it's time to walk across the orchard to the donkeys, and they're always very vocal. The donkeys' feed order goes Toby first because he's the most dominant donkey. Then it's time for Bruno, and then we have little old Willow at the end. To be fair, all of the donkeys are actually quite old. They're all in their 30s. I think Toby is the only donkey that doesn't have any medical problems. So Willow, she has medicine in her breakfast. Bruno walks a little bit funny because he's had a stroke, so bless him. I do have some wonky donkeys here, but I love them to bits. I've literally had them my whole life. Also, while they're eating their breakfast in the mornings, I often stand with them and have to give Bruno head scratches or ear scratches, which, to be fair, he absolutely loves. Look at that face. But also, it's more to distract Bruno so he doesn't end up eating the others' food, because number one, he can't eat Willow's medicine, and number two, if he eats Toby's food that doesn't have all Bruno's slop water in it, he will choke because he doesn't have many teeth left. Anyway, once I've done that and cleaned out the buckets, it's time to turn out the horses. So here's Mickey saying goodbye to Joey because they are stable besties. They're in stables next door to each other, so it's a sad goodbye. Then it's time to lead Mickey out, and then little Duke. Those two are the smallest ponies I have, and they go out in a paddock together. So we have Duke the rescue pony, and then Mickey, who is my retired first pony, who now isn't ridden anymore. I'm also a bit big for him, so he's just living out his days with us. Joey here, I gave him one of his balls or treat balls to play with because he sometimes finds it quite sad when the other horses say goodbye, go out in their paddocks. And that's because Joey is currently on box rest. He hurt his leg out in the field, so the vets have made it so he's not allowed out of his stable until he's better. So hopefully that won't be too long now, because to be fair, if I was a horse and I was locked up in a stable 24/7, I wouldn't be very happy either. But it's for his own health and well-being, and hopefully he'll be back out in the field soon. Anyway, next up is time to clean the buckets, pop them away, and then it's time to muck out. Joey, for some reason, I feel like this is one of his dirty habits, but if there's any other horse's poo in the wheelbarrow, he will sniff it. So there we go, does it every time. Sometimes he licks the wheelbarrow as well, which is a little bit weird, but there we go. Do have some quirky horses. But anyway, after a little while, he's like, okay, she's just mucking out my stable, this is boring, gonna go back to my haylage. And then it's just down to all the dirty jobs for me, making sure everyone's clean, happy, has got a nice bed to sleep in tonight. Also, one of the best tips I have is if you have one of those little stable chains and you have a horse that you're mucking out, you can just go under it. So I was going to say limbo. Limbo is when you go back, isn't it? Anyway, so I slide on through there, and then of course, once I finish, I sweep the whole yard so it's nice and tidy. And once all of those jobs are done, it's then time for me to walk into my parents' farmhouse and grab myself a coffee, because I feel like by this time in the morning, I'm ready for a little bit of energy. Also, while I do this, I go through some emails and admin on my phone, and then on this particular morning, well, every morning, I try to exercise the horses. Sometimes I do it in the afternoon. It really depends on the weather, because sometimes here in England, it does like to chuck it down with rain. Anyway, Casper is the only horse I have at the moment that can be ridden, so it was time to exercise him, and today we were doing one of his favourite things, which was loading him up in the horse box and taking him to the forest, which he absolutely loves. So first off, before I do any of that, it's time to get him ready, give him a little bit of a pamper session. So put him in the wash bay, he gets to go under his heat lamp. Look at his moustache also. Isn't it so adorable? It's so sad that it only comes out in the winter. In the summer it goes away, so in these months I really appreciate Casper having his little tash. So once Casper is clean, I then just load all of his bits up into the horse box, also grab my bits as well, so my helmet, my boots, grab Casper's saddle, bridle, saddle pad, girth, Casper's boots. Here he is looking all pretty and clean after me grooming him. Then it's just time to make some final checks in the horse box, open up the side, make sure he's got some snacks in there, that it's nice and clean, that the door's open. Also while I'm in there, I grab his travel boots let's pop those on, and then it's time to lead him up into the box and get going. So Casper is probably my best horse at traveling. He is so good. He's just like, he also sometimes does this thing where he leans before the corners, like he knows when a corner's coming up. He is great. Anyway, then it's time to close on up and head to the woods. Once we arrive, it's then time to get out, unload Casper, and how pretty was this morning. We definitely lucked out with the weather. Also, I've just realised that I've had Casper for almost 10 whole years. That is a decade. That is a long time. He's kind of been my teenagehood / childhood pony because I've had him since I was 12. I'm now 22. How wild is that? Anyway, then it was time to get him ready, get his tack on. The saddle pad colour of the day is orchid, which I feel like is so fitting for this time of year. But anyway, then once he was ready, it was time to go on our ride.
I didn't know what my heart was in for till you stepped into the room. And I didn't show, but I wanted to know everything I could about you. See, I was told that dreams were made to be believed in, so I put every single dream in you. But you set the bar so high above the sky, and you nailed it to the floor. 'Cause for some odd reason I'm done believing in this one thing I adore. What is loving anymore? And you came to me like a bird to the breeze, and we floated together for a while. But you had to go, now I carry the load. Took off in the wind and my smile. See, I was told the dreams were made to be believed in, so I put every single dream in you.